What's going on YouTube? And today's video is going to be a little bit different from what you see on the channel, but I want to talk about why I am worried about MLB The Show at 23. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the gameplay this year is a lot better than what we've had in years past, and I am really enjoying the game itself, but I think content right now really worries me for the future of this game. So when this game launched at the end of March, we had this XP reward path and we had Team Affinity, and the big program that we had was the World Baseball Classic program. Since then, we really haven't had that many good things to play for, essentially. The XP reward path had a couple good cards. You had this Bob Gibson that's really good in the Francisco Lindor. And looking back on it, the World Baseball Classic program, a lot of these cards were just filler. They were in there for the set one collections to get Chipper and Babe. The only card I really see people use is Shohei Ohtani, and sometimes I see a Randy Arozarena in there as well. And Team Affinity was a massive grind too. There are some good cards in here. You have Dustin May, Jock Peterson, but as a whole, I feel like we haven't had that same level of good cards since launch week. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because, yeah, my team might be loaded. You know, I have Babe Ruth over here at first, I have Chipper at third, Jeter at short, Sammy and right, etc. I get it. You know, not everybody has collections done like I do. But for example, I see a lot of the same cards in a lot of teams, and a lot of them are from launch week. You know, a lot of these cards that people are using, like for example, look at me, I'm using Kondo in my outfield. That was from the WBC program. I forgot to mention him as well. But now that we're further into the season, getting cards like Jazz and Trey and even Chipper right now, it's really not that hard to get those cards. A lot of them you get for free, essentially. You don't have to spend stubs to go out and get the cards to get these good ones, say like Trey Turner and or Chipper or Babe Ruth. So it's not like it's very pay to win. A lot of it's just grind the game and you get that card, and that's the best at the position. But my point is, a lot of people are using the same cards because we haven't had anything that tops these cards that we had earlier in the year. For example, you can get Lou Gehrig at first base. He's the World Series program reward. You don't even have to hit World Series to get this card, and he's only selling for 33,000 subs. That's not a lot, and he's a really good card. And if you can't drop anything better than that, people aren't going to use anything better than a card that's just as good as Lou. And you could even use Jock Peterson at first or something like that. Second base, I'm using Francisco Lindor. A lot of people still use this Ketel Marte, which was dropped really early in the year. Very good card, but we gotta drop cards that are even better than Ketel in these sets to incentivize people to use new cards and to keep trying to build their teams. You go to shortstop, if you don't have Derek Jeter, everybody, and I mean everybody, is using Francisco Lindor. I mean, this card has everything and he's 20k. So like, and again, he's from the XP reward path, a free card. Third base, again, like I'm saying, if you grind the game, you do the free cards, you get Chipper Jones. I mean, everybody's using Chipper Jones. And then in the outfield, you have that Trey Turner you can run in center field. And then Mike Trout, day one, 99 Mike Trout. Again, if you're gonna drop a 99 Trout day one, that's fine, but you got to keep it up with the content because we really haven't had anything that rivals this 99 Trout. Look at the market here. I mean, I guess the only one maybe is just recently the Ken Griffey Jr. card, but my point is everybody's teams are from cards that are either the collection cards or they were dropped week one, like a Francisco Lindor, Ketel Marte, Mike Trout, etc. I just feel like the content since launch week has been really lacking, and there really haven't been that many cards to rival those cards we had in week one. The only ones I guess you can really say that I've noticed people using is Posada here and there. I see a lot of people use Ken Griffey Jr. and Vlad Sr. or a couple other cards that I see people use, but other than that, it's the same teams. Like they really haven't dropped anything to rival those really good launch week cards. And getting back into the offline grind, again, a lot of these cards, I don't even see a lot of these Team Affinity cards used. I see a couple of them in teams. I'll see a Jock Peterson, a Dustin May. Dustin May is one of the best starting pitchers in the game, but I just feel like a lot of these cards in Team Affinity, with how many good 99s that are in the game right now, they don't rival a lot of the cards at other positions, so I don't see a lot of them being used. And hopping back over here into the programs, I think, you know, this Easter program was cool, but if we look through the rewards, Gregory Soto, he was a good card. You know, we needed a left-handed option at the time in the bullpen. This Bregman was nothing special. This Springer's okay. Reggie Jackson's okay as well, but like nothing that makes me go, wow, I need this card in my team. Then we had this Charisma Series program, which again, a lot of these cards were okay. You know, for me, like the best two cards I think were Joe Kelly and Andrew Chafin. Like when I look at these programs, I'm looking to see if maybe I can get a pen option. A lot of these hitter cards, they're nothing great, man. You know, for me, again, They were just free cards to get towards a collection. And while that's okay, we can still make those cards good. You know, just because it's free doesn't mean the card has to be poor. And personally, I think Topps Now has been very underwhelming this year. I don't think there's a single Topps Now card that I'm using on my team. You know, a lot of these cards, they're 90, 91 overalls, and they're just, when you have a bunch of 99s at launch, there's just no incentive to using those cards essentially. And then recently we had this Mexico City series program, which in my opinion, these were core cards, so you can't even collect them towards Chipper or Babe Ruth or whatever. I think this might have been the most pointless and worthless program that I've ever seen in MLB The Show. This program was like a player of the month grind from the start. You know, you got to get up to 160 stars to get a 94 overall Trent Grisham. At launch, we have a bunch of 99s, man. I mean, look at these stats. I'm not trying to take a dump on the game or whatever, but this program was just bad. I don't know what they were thinking, and I hope they don't drop more programs like this, cards that aren't usable. We could in the future possibly get core collections. That's the only thing I could think about why it's worth grinding for these cards, but they're nothing special and it takes a lot to get them, so there's no incentive for someone to hop on and grind out these programs. And then weekly wonders, you know, they've been nothing special. It's just a couple missions, couple moments, and you get a Diamond Duos pack. I mean, personally, the XP at this point in the season is whatever. I mean, I don't need 5,000 XP. I think a ton of people have probably finished the XP reward path already. I mean, we're in what, week 6 of season 1 here. XP right now doesn't really mean that much to me. So after I just sat here and probably ridiculed the game for 6 or 7 minutes or so, I want to break it down and tell you guys how they can improve it. You know, how can we keep the longevity of this game and keep people engaged and keep dropping good content throughout the year? We've always said we want good gameplay. We haven't had good gameplay the last couple of years, but the content's been good. That's what kept people playing. And even though we have good gameplay, good content is what's going to keep people playing this game. So how would you improve it? One of the best things I think they added to this game was with the reward path and how we have the re-rolls. Now you have your boss packs, your diamond duos, around the worlds, etc. Add a re-roll to ranked and BR. So if I go over here to say ranked, right? I'm 87 and 16. I've played my fair share of ranked games this year. I go over to the ranked program. I have 464 stars out of 150. So I have completed the ranked program at least 3 times essentially. And once I hit that max reward, there's essentially no reason for me to continue to play ranked, which ranked should be the main game mode for MLB The Show. If you want to keep people engaged and give them a reason to continue to play ranked, add those rerolls into ranked. Give me stub vouchers. Give me some packs that I could possibly get, just like the XP reward path has, you know, throw some diamond duo bundles in there. Just give me something. Give me some reason to keep grinding ranked seasons. The rewards aren't even going for that much anymore the way it is with, you know, being able to get it from hitting World Series by finishing the reward path and then by able to get it through co-op. So you can get each reward 3 times essentially. And same with BR, man. I haven't touched BR this season. I've never been a big BR player. Once you get 100 BR points and you get the flawless pack, you get some stubs, you get a ball as a habit pack, a 10 bundle, and a 20 bundle. Now, personally, I don't give a crap about packs because packs in this game are never good. I'd rather guaranteed stubs. Give me the stub vouchers. Give me rerolls. So give people an incentive to keep playing BR. You know, BR is a little bit different from ranked because you can continue to go 12-0 and get those 12-0 rewards and the flawless packs and whatnot. But I like to see some sort of incentive to keep playing the mode beyond finishing the program. Because again, I just feel like once I hit 150, a lot of people aren't able to go 12-0. You know, a lot of people can't get those flawless rewards, so they're only able to get those cards once. So I feel like once they get 100 program points, they're probably like, okay, I got the card. I'm not going to play it until the new season starts. If you added some type of reroll at the end of the BR program, I'm not saying to add in, you know, a flawless pack in the reroll or whatever, because I don't think that's right. But give some sort of incentive for people to continue to play your mode once they get the reward that they want. Another way I would improve on it too, I touched on it earlier, is you need to continue to drop heat throughout the set. I think it was great. The launch content was fantastic. When you see Ketel Marte, Roki Sasaki, 99 Shohei, Lindor, Bob Gibson, all these cards, they're amazing. And they're some of the best cards on my team, but there's been no other cards since launch that really rivaled them. If we're gonna start with heat, we got to finish with heat too, and it's got to be consistent heat throughout the program. Of course, there's always going to be cards in there that don't rival them. You know, not every card's going to be fantastic, but when we're going on, say, 4 weeks of content now that really hasn't rivaled that launch week content, people are going to start getting bored, and it's not going to give them a reason to play your game anymore. Now, we're close to set 2 here. You know, we're a little bit over a week away. We have the new set coming up. I don't know what they have planned, But what I would do personally is I would give these captain cards in Team Affinity. We're going to get captains. You know, it's something that they preached about so much this year. I would make captain cards at least a 95, 96 overall and give them good boost in every single Team Affinity reward. Season 1, you had your 97 Acuna, your Yelich's. Those rewards, they need to be 99s. With the amount of 99s that we have in the game right now, you can't make them 97s and then, you know, say you have to parallel them. It's a parallel 4 to get them to be somewhat decent. They got to be good cards, man. You know, if we can make captains good, give them good boosts, and make the actual captain cards good themselves. That's the thing. A lot of these captain cards aren't good unless you have to use this ridiculous team build. And even then, a lot of the times they're just like a tier or 2 tiers below of what a meta team is. And if they can't rival a great team, there's just no incentive to use those captain cards. So for example here, you know, the captain cards we had here at launch are 92 overalls. And while this season is on week 6 already, no one's using these cards. There's just no incentive to use them. A lot of it is the requirements too. You know, a lot of the times it's 5, 8, 11 cards from a certain team for those Team Affinity cards, and that's a lot of cards. You know, a lot of these teams, the Yankees are like an exception. They have a lot of good cards here early in the game, but there's a lot of teams out there, they don't have a lot of good cards. You know, you're stuck using a bronze or a silver or a common. No one wants to use one of those cards in their team just to be able to have a captain boost. They're just going to say, screw it, I'm going to use my God Squad. We really need to improve on captains for set 2. You're going to see a lot more lineup diversity. And if we can add some rerolls into ranked and BR, I think that'd be a really great addition to the game. And part of the reason, my fault too, is I have all this grinded out early, but I'm a content creator. I got to get these cards early. I try to do debuts and I'm trying to get videos out for you guys. So that's part of it as well. But I notice a lot of people out there, you know, they're not a content creator. They're your average daily player, and I've heard some complaints from that crowd too, saying that they're getting a little bit bored of the game. I'm excited to see the transition from set 1 into set 2 and see how they approach it. I hope we have some good content at the start of the set, but I hope we can continue that throughout the set leading into the set 3. I just wanted to vent and get stuff off my chest and give my opinion on how I feel about this game. It's the most that I've enjoyed it since MLB 20, I would say. I think the gameplay itself is great, but I think content's just been lacking the last 3 or 4 weeks or so. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please leave your comments down below and let me know what you guys think right now of MLB The Show 23. How do you feel about content? And if you haven't been enjoying it lately, give some suggestions down below. I'd love to hear all of your opinions, and I will see you guys in the next video.